What's going on, people? So for anybody out there that happened to watch that live unboxing I did, you know that I did 3 Asics shoes and this is the third one. So now I'm kind of done with my little Asics reviews, for at least for now. I mean, until they put up more Gel-Lyte 3s that I want, which I'm sure they probably have already because they seem to be pretty quick to do that sort of thing. But we're not here to talk about other stuff that I might buy in the future. We're here to talk about current things that I already have. So this right here. Now, much like I've said in some past posts and whatnot, a lot of the Asics things that I've kind of gotten into, Anthony Levine kind of let me know about a lot of these just by posting them on his channel, not like he told me personally. But this is one of the ones that I never would have had any idea that this was even a thing had it not been for him. Well, I mean, I guess I would have later seen it on the site, but he's the one who initially put it out there and said, oh, that's pretty fancy, you know? And I almost bought them a while ago, but it was on some site where it was a little pricier than I wanted it to be, you know? But then they brought them to the Asics site for that standard 120 or maybe it was 140. I don't know. For a normal price that I was cool with, and here we are. So this, looking at the side of the box, all it's gonna say is just Piedmont Gray and Shamrock Green. Gel-Lyte 3 OG, of course. But this is actually a Sneakerlah collaboration. So it's kind of a Malaysia-based sort of thing that they're doing here. From what I remember, and I just read this not too long ago, so hopefully it's fresh in my head, Sneakerlah is a sneaker event out there, apparently like the biggest one, in Malaysia that is. So somebody, I think it was like 100 or something like that, 100% maybe, they worked with Asics to make this shoe happen. So as I go through it, I'll kind of let you know where the inspiration comes from, because it's largely based off of some towers, like these 2 towers that are out there in Malaysia. I guess it's their biggest tower, so that's cool. But that being that, let's go ahead and get on into this review of the Asics Gel-Lyte 3 OG in the Sneakerlah colorway. Obviously that's not the name that is said on the side of the box, but it's just easier. Rolls right off the tongue. We're gonna start this thing with the bottom. Down there, what you're looking at on the bottom, not your standard outsole like the last 2 reviews I did. You see, this particular time around, and like I was saying before, a lot of the inspiration from the shoe comes from those towers. So what you look at down there, when you see like the green and the translucent stuff, that's supposed to play off of what it's like looking at the windows on the building. So they have a bit of a green tint. Typical windows tend to be see-through, that sort of thing. That's what's going on down there, right? So I might have to get you like another picture or 2 just to kind of get the point across, but it's fairly simple to understand, I think, right? So let's go ahead and move on up here to the midsole, right? Now the midsole, also not as plain as your standard Gel-Lyte 3. So this time around, what they did here, they kind of have a bit of a speckled thing going on, and the reason for that is to signify or to show off like what it's like when there's rain on the building. So these are supposed to be like little raindrops, and so you have kind of a, I don't know, it's like a tannish, whitish, beige sort of thing going on with the gray dots. So that's kind of the color scheme there. But yeah, so you have that going on, and that's pretty much just all around the shoe, right? And the typical Asics logo down there in the bottom, of course. So now we skip a little up to the upper here, and there's a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of stuff. Some of it you're gonna have to see from the right angles to really let it shine through or whatever, but I'll do my best to kind of cover this whole thing. So we're just gonna start with the toe box area and then just kind of work our way to the back, because that makes sense. So down here around the toe box area, it's pretty much just like your standard silver type of thing that you might see on some flashy type shoes, right? But it actually looks cool on these. I've seen it on other shoes and I was like, oh, that's not okay. But these got it right. Kind of reminds me of like the Silver Surfer or something, you know? But either way, along with the whole building thing, that's kind of where a lot of the silver comes in. So you've got that. I believe these 2 dots down in here might be 3M. I'll have to figure that out later, as I usually do. But moving on back to the middle-ish area, you have the same sort of thing going on with like the silver outline and whatnot. And then down here on the inside, the Asics logo, what you're seeing in there, it's actually kind of an iridescent sort of thing. You just got to look at it from the right angles or whatever, and then you'll kind of start to see it. Otherwise, it kind of just looks gray. Honestly, I thought it was just gray until I really got a good look at it. And so you got that going on. Now moving back here to the heel area, got some pretty nice suede. I mean, I think so, you know what I'm saying? Like you do see a little bit of a grayer area or whatever from where they were laying around in the box, but hey, that's a suede thing, it just happens, right? So you got that going on. Under that, you do have a little bit of green, which again goes with some of the green that's on the building tint for the windows and stuff like that. And then up here at the top, the Asics logo that you saw from the middle area, it does swoop all the way back through to the top here where you have the Asics Gel at the top, and that does have that iridescent sort of thing going on as well, and possibly more 3M down there. Again, I'll figure that out later. So that's where some of that inspiration kind of starts to sink in, right? And then switching things back around to the toe box, since we didn't really hit on that too much. Typical nylon sort of feel that they have going on up there. Nothing really different. It feels nice though. It feels as good as all the other ones, you know what I'm saying? So there's that for you in case you were curious. And now let's take a step just a little bit higher up to where the laces are. So as I was saying before, they are outlined with that silver, as you see on a lot of the rest of the shoe. And then in the very middle here where they hold down the laces, you got those two plastic pieces kind of in a sort of gray. And the laces, which you may have noticed, are 3M, so that's pretty awesome. Also, which you may have noticed, there is a second pair of laces. These have more of a green tint to them. Same sort of style though overall. Also, on the tip of those laces, on both laces, you do have these, I don't know if it's metal, but it's a pretty solid feeling material. I'll have to get you some pictures in there because there's some nice detailing on it. But so you have that going on as well. And behind those fancy laces, you do have that standard split tongue that you tend to have on, well, I guess that's on all Gel-Lyte 3, so it's not a specific feature to this, but it's something that might be new to some people. So then moving on past that, onto that actual tongue, right? As some of you might know, this area is built like a Huarache in that you have an outer layer and an inner layer. Often it's in this material, this nylon, but what you generally don't see, or at least none of the ones that I have, is down in here you have a little tag. And that tag, it just has a couple random facts about the building itself, right? So there's that for you. I'll have to get a picture in there because I know you're not going to be able to see that. So that's pretty much the bulk of the outside of the shoe. So let's step on back to the inside here and get this thing finished up so we can talk about sizing and things like that. So down there on the inside, what you're going to be seeing down there, pretty much just a black insole, some greenish colored Asics logo in there, or the Asics name in there. And then moving on past that though, because it is a little bit different than usual, the sock liner here, I'm not sure what's going on, but they went with like a leather kind of thing. It doesn't feel like some of the other leathers I felt on other shoes or whatever. Maybe there's something more to it, but that's what's going on. In a light gray sort of color. Not quite the same as the outside, but close enough, right? Overall, pretty decent. Speaking of overall, let me hit you with my overall thoughts because we have now finished going over this shoe from what one last thing on the back. It does have La on the back there for the whole Sneakerlah thing. So that's on the back of the suede area. Now, we've finished going over the whole outside of the shoe as far as I can think of. So, personal thoughts. I was sold on these mostly just by the outsole. That alone was all it took. When Anthony Levine showed off the rest of the shoe, of course, like, you know, the flashiness of it kind of got me because that does look pretty cool. The story meant nothing to me. I was pretty much sold visually because I tend to be like that. But those extra details and seeing them actually played out up close now definitely changes my mind on that sort of thing. So very, very content with the way these came out. So definitely going to be a good piece of my collection. And hopefully I'll be breaking these out soon. As some of you might know if you follow me on Legram, for all of April I've been wearing all new shoes because I'm trying to get those DS numbers down. I don't like having dead stock shoes. It just makes me feel weird and like I'm wasting money. So back on track, these are really nice. That's all you need to know about the shoe and my thoughts. But you do need to know about sizing because that's important, right? Or maybe you just want to see what they look like on feet. I got that for you too. I bought these in a 9.5 because that's the size that I buy in pretty much all my shoes, right? And that's because that's my true to size. And I bought that in these, and these fit exactly like I would expect them to. So if you're on the fence about what size to get, I would say maybe like an Air Max 90, go with that type of size. Maybe if you happen to have any other like Adidas type casual shoes, go with that size. Not quite sure, just take the last thing you bought and do that, right? And hope that it works out. Or figure out what true to size really means for you and, you know, get your foot measured. But moving on past that, as far as the comfort and everything goes, these things are very comfortable overall as a model, right? I can only say so much about this particular one because I didn't really wear it a whole lot. But the one thing that I'll pass on to you is that the midsole, you're still gonna get that same super good comfort that you have on all the other Gel-Lyte 3s. The only slight change is on the upper area because you don't have the same materials. So around here where there's the silver and all that stuff, it's gonna feel a little bit different. So it might just take a little while to kind of break in and feel like the rest of them. Don't take that as me saying these are bad, because they are not bad by any means. It's just gonna feel just a little bit different those first couple wears. At least that's what I'm thinking. So I'm sure they'll be fine later on. Just have a little bit of patience, but at the same time, I'd look past that because these look pretty awesome. So sometimes that's enough. And they're still gonna be better than a lot of other things out there. I mean, let's just be honest. So I believe that we have covered pretty much everything about this particular shoe as far as the size and the comfort goes. So let's just kind of go our separate ways. How do you feel about that? So again, thank you to Anthony Levine for putting these on the map for me. I do appreciate that. My bank account, not so much, but hey, it happens. So there's that for you. But from me to you, people out there, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I have one more review that I should do today, and I probably will. Probably won't record it or edit it till tomorrow though. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that stuff. And you guys, if you're still listening, let me know what you're doing with the rest of your day. Sometimes I'm curious about other people's lives. Not super curious, but curious enough to ask and read the comment if you leave one. Yeah, we'll close on that. Later, people.